101 WSBT, the sports leader, powered by Midland Engineering Company, completing their first century of quality roofing experience. Cavemen football is also presented by School City of Mishawaka, growing leaders in a culture of excellence the Mishawaka way. The Mishawaka Education Foundation, growing a better future. Thor Industries, start your next adventure by visiting thorindustries.com. And by Legacy Heating and Air, get a new air conditioner at 0% financing for 48 months and no payments until next year at Legacy. The Mishawaka Cavemen are also presented by Monterey Mexican Grill, Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage, Wings Etc., Edward Jones, Sonic Drive-In, Kurt Outdoor Living, Rossini's Pizza, Zolman Tire and Auto Care, Beef O'Brady's of Granger, Jay's Crunchers Potato Chips, the Food Bank of Northern Indiana, and by Bonnie Doon Drive-In. And now, with the School City of Mishawaka pregame show, here's Sean Stiers.
Thank you very much and a pleasant good evening, and welcome to Alsip, Illinois, in the Chicago suburbs. Sean Stiers along with Scott Bovenkirk as we get set for another big matchup for the Mishawaka Cavemen. And of course, our pregame show is brought to you by the School City of Mishawaka, growing leaders in a culture of excellence, the Mishawaka way. Well, Mishawaka improved to 2-0 under first-year head coach Keith Kinder last week with a big 29-20 win over 6A power Valparaiso. Fullback Chris Harness led the way for the Cavemen, 178 yards on 24 carries, 2 touchdowns, as well as a crucial extra point run, make it the final margin of 29-20. The Cavemen cranked out 282 rushing yards, 370 total yards in the victory, and that was after rushing for just 48 yards a year before at Valparaiso against pretty much the same defense, just a couple of changes on that defense. So a big change and a big swing from one year to the next. And Coach, I mean, that was as impressive of a win as we've seen so far since we've been doing these Mishawaka games exclusively.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a big win. That's a program win. It's a confidence builder for Mishawaka. It's also big for the young coaching staff. I mean, these guys are new together under Keith Kinder. I mean, it's an older staff, but let's face it, the top is different.
That's right.
It's different for the first time in 10 years, and there were some big decisions that Keith Kinder made last week, and most all of them turned out right.
That's absolutely right. Now, again, it's another big test tonight. Chicago Marist, the Red Hawks here, and a beautiful field turf stadium that they're going, or a field turf playing surface they're going to play on. Marist opened its season last week with a 20-16 loss to Brother Rice, who scored the game-winning touchdown with 1:47 to play in that game. This Marist team went 11-0 last year under first-year head coach Ron Doshik, and they lost a lot of talent, a lot of Division I level talent from that team. They lost, their only loss of the season was in the first round, the quarterfinal round of the Illinois 8A playoffs, a 30-10 setback to Loyola Chicago. Their average score last year, though, was 43-12. They put some points on the board last year, and they also did a good job of stopping the opposition. They beat Mishawaka last year 42-15, so it's another opportunity for the Cavemen to avenge a lopsided loss from a season ago. We will take a timeout. When we come back, you'll hear from Cavemen head coach Keith Kinder some of his thoughts on last week's win over Valpo and tonight's matchup with the Chicago Marist Redhawks. Coming to you from the top of the press box at Chicago Marist, along with Hall of Fame head coach Scott Bovenkirk. I'm Sean Stiers. The School City of Mishawaka pregame show continues with head coach Keith Kinder right after this.
Hey sports fans, football's back and so am I. This is Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. If you're in the market to purchase a new home or refinance an existing one, give me a call at 287-1152. Here at First Midwest Mortgage, we offer a wide range of mortgage loans, including conventional and our government FHA and VA loans down to a 580 credit score. Call me today, Kevin Putz, your local and trusted mortgage professional. Let me put my 20 years of mortgage experience to work for you. Call me today, 287-1152.
NMLS number 127733. Rossini's.
Rossini's.
Rossini's. Rossini's Pizza.
Just like the cavemen, Rossini Pizza is a Mishawaka tradition. A tradition of excellence when it comes to carry-out pizza. Every Rossini's pizza is carefully made with the freshest ingredients. Their weekly specials include Monday's 18-inch one-topping pizza for just $12.99. Wednesdays feature a 14-inch pizza, garlic cheese bread, and a 2-liter for $17.49. And Saturday, get two 14-inch four-topping pizzas for just $23.99. Rossini Pizza. Carry out your proud to bring home. Lincoln Way East in Mishawaka, across from Beeger School. The School City of Mishawaka pregame show continues with the Beefo Brady's of Granger coaches' comments. Here's the voice of the cavemen, Sean Stiers.
We are joined once again by Mishawaka head coach Keith Kinder, and the cavemen coming off a big 29-20 win last week over Valparaiso. And we'll start with that, Coach. I guess first of all, about what a challenge that Valpo defense was going to be. They limited Penn last year. They held you guys to, I think, under 50 rushing yards, but there you go. You're well over 200 rushing yards last week and over, I think, 380 total yards. So how are you guys offensively kind of able to solve that defense?
Well, one of the things that I think we handled pretty well was their moving up front last year. They confused us and gave us some fits. And we worked it all week. We kind of figured, they were probably going to play the same defense because it was so successful last year. And our kids were really prepared. And then I think, the other thing is I just think up front we played more physically than we played in the previous year. I thought our offensive line played about as well as I've seen an offensive line play this early at Mishawaka since I've been here. I mean, they were really, really good last Friday night. So, and I thought we did, for the most part, we did a good job of getting just 3 yards of play. We talked to our offense about that all week. Like last year against Valpo, that didn't happen. We were having 2nd and 10s and then 3rd and 9s. And we got ourselves into a few 3rd and long situations against Valpo. But for the most part, we stayed ahead of the chains and had a chance, to convert 3rd downs. I think we were 7 for 10 on 3rd down last Friday. So I thought that was a big deal as well.
You talk about that offensive line. You got a couple new faces out there this year. Are you surprised at all by just how effective they've been so early?
Yeah, I didn't think that we would be as good up front as we are right now. I thought we had the chance by the end of the year to be pretty good offensively on the offensive line, but I mean, we're watching them right now, and it's like, wow, we could be pretty good up front, and we've got some depth, which we haven't had in the past. In the past, we've had, 5 pretty good offensive linemen, but 6, 7, and 8, there was a big drop-off. I think we've got 8 pretty good offensive linemen right now, including Ryan Watt, who plays defense. So that's a really good problem to have. We have some depth. Some guys have been challenged for spots this week, and so when you have depth, it's always a good thing because, it pushes other people to perform.
Now, defensive side of the ball, Valpo kind of started out looking like maybe they're just going to throw the ball all over the place, but you guys didn't panic defensively and looked like you made some adjustments. What were you able to do maybe a little bit differently in the second half?
Yeah, we played straight zone in the first half. We were concerned with them running the football, wanted to take away the run, and we wanted to make sure that we kept the ball in front of us. They took advantage of that in the first half and threw those 5-yard out routes nonstop. And so at halftime, we were kind of forced to decide, okay, what do we want to do? Do we want to let them keep doing that? So we decided to go straight man-to-man and put pressure on them. And when they decided to throw the ball in the second half, we were there in good spots. We got a couple defensive holding penalties, but that happens when you go man-to-man. But really, we just kind of ramped up the pressure and played zero coverage, and that seemed to work for us.
As we talked about at the start of the season, you've got a new defense this year. You've faced 2 distinctly different offenses so far. Have you been pretty happy with how you've been able to be pretty flexible? Have you gotten the flexibility that you've looked for out of that defense?
Yeah, I think so. I've been really impressed with C.J. Fisher. He had 15 tackles last Friday. Nick Bodel, our other outside linebacker, had 12 tackles. I've been really impressed with the way that those guys have helped us on the perimeter. I think we got to get a little bit better up in our front 6, all right, just running our technique, good feet, good steps, those sorts of things. Those are things that we've been focused on this week, is just focusing on our fundamentals and making sure that we're, not worried about the end result, but the getting better each week with our own personal job. So I've been really pleased. I think we're athletic enough to where we can go. If we're in trouble, we can go straight, zero coverage, man-to-man with no free safety. It's not something that we want to live by, but I think we've got the flexibility with the athleticism to be able to do those sorts of things.
Yeah, this offense this week that you're going to see at Marist looks like maybe the best of both worlds from what you've seen from these first two teams so far. And we were talking right before we started about the quarterback. So just kind of give us a breakdown of the specific challenges this offense and the quarterback pose for you.
Yeah, they are basically, they're going to align in similar formations to what Valpo did. I don't think that their quarterback throws it as well as Valpo's quarterback, but they are faster than Valpo. I think that they're not as big up front as Valpo, but they are quicker. Their quarterback is probably the fastest quarterback I've seen on film since I've been coaching. Now I haven't been coaching for 30 years or anything, but he's quite fast. We're going to need to tackle really well to have a chance, because and we're going to need to rally tackle, which means pursue and run to the football, because in the open field I don't know that we have anyone that can tackle him one-on-one, and that's not a negative towards our guys. It's just the way it is. So we've talked a lot about team pursuit. We've talked a lot about buddy tackling. They have a lot of concerns. They've got a wide receiver, number 1, who's been offered by Michigan, a pretty good football player. When they throw it, they want to throw it to him, and they've got some skilled kids in the backfield that can help them. So we've got our hands full defensively, but what we've talked about is as the field shrinks, and it was the same kind of thing against Valpo. We're going to give up yards. The way that we play defense, we're going to give up yards in between the 30s. That's just the way it is. But when the field starts to shrink, that's where I think our defense kind of gets an advantage. And I think we proved that last week when we forced Valpo into a punt. Right. From there, they were in our territory and they had to punt, and then we forced 2 field goals. And I told our defense, I think that's what won the game. When we forced them in the first half to kick a field goal, and then when we forced them on their first possession in the third quarter to kick a field goal, if you take those field goals away and they score touchdowns, then it's a 4-touchdown to 4-touchdown game. You know what I mean? So that was definitely the difference.
When you have a win like you had last week over a big 6A team that was so good last year, and now you start to climb up in the polls and the rankings and all that kind of stuff, does it help to have a team like Marist that maybe kind of gets your attention and helps the guys refocus during the week?
Yeah, number 1, I don't think that there's anybody on our schedule this year that we can't not focus for. You know what I mean? Right. But we've got a challenging schedule, weeks 1 through 9. So I think just the quality of our opponents are going to focus our kids. Number 2, we haven't said a word about rankings. I haven't heard a single kid talk about the rankings. I'm not even sure if you asked our kids if they would even know what the rankings were. And I think that that's a good thing. I think that they're excited about the opportunity to play a really good team and a team that kind of pushed us around last year and beat us by 4 scores. You know what I mean? So I think that that's an opportunity that our kids are excited for. We're going to get on a bus. We're going to have to be on there for, 2 hours. But when we get off, I like the idea of being on the road because you can focus on one thing instead of, some other distractions. So it's a good team, and we're going to have to play well to have a chance to win.
All right. Sounds good. We've got kickoff coming up. Keith Kinder, thanks as always. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Dave here. My friends at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union are celebrating 75 years of serving members right here in the local community and all over the world. This is why I love these guys. They actually have a soul and a different spirit of how they approach the customer. Since the folks at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union aren't going for profit, account members are, they're like owners. And it's easy to become one. Visit NotreDameFCU.com. That's NotreDameFCU.com to find out more. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Now is the time to save hundreds of dollars during Goff Heating and Air Conditioning Summer Air Conditioning Sale on a new Bryant high-efficiency central air conditioner. You'll need no money down and have up to 12 months to pay at absolutely no interest. So call today to see just how many hundreds of dollars you can save. Let Bryant and Goff Heating and Air do whatever it takes to meet all your heating and cooling needs. Call today, 289-6511, 289-6511, or online at goffheating.com. Do it today.
Back at Chicago Marist as the School City of Mishawaka pregame show continues. Starting lineups are presented by Bonnie Doon Drive-In. We'll give you the offense for the Mishawaka Cavemen taking on the Chicago Marist Redhawks tonight. Chris Harness at fullback. He ran for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. He has rushed for nearly 400 yards through 2 games. Sam Shively, the quarterback, who also ran for a pair of touchdowns last week. Bradley Taylor and Donovan Snyder are the halfbacks for the Cavemen. Ryan Watt, the tight end. Brody Robinette, the split end. The offensive line, we're liable to see 6 different guys tonight. Sam Reisky, as well as David Vandegrift. Vandegrift's been out. He is back. The senior, 6'5" senior, is back in the offensive line. Ethan Sargent as well, a 5'11" junior. Ricky King, a 6'1" senior. Eric Vargo, who won the Milkbone Award for the best offensive lineman for the Cavemen last week, and also Wyatt Sellers, a junior. We will see him this evening. The Chicago Marist defense, Charlie Lawrencell, a senior safety. James Randolph, a senior cornerback. Ryan Rapold, a senior linebacker. Kendrick Noling, an Eastern Michigan committed linebacker. Shamar Taylor, Jake Dewar, Colin Bohannick, Caleb Burrell, Tommy Munoz, and Luke Wallenberg as well. And that's the defense. Your starting lineups presented by Bonnie Doon Drive-In, and we pause now for the national anthem. This is Mishawaka Cavemen football on 96.1 WSBT, the sports leader.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? When you're working for a mover and shaker with strong ties to our community, who are they? When you encounter a group of people eager to roll up their sleeves, who are you most likely to work with? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Taking the initiative, being a good teammate, sacrificing personal glory for the greater good. These are qualities we expect of our leaders, and they're all being cultivated in the high schools right here in Indiana. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
One of the best things about sports is that unexpected surprise performance, that big play from a rookie or free agent. And that's what's great about Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. You know about our wings, but the surprise is all of our Etc. Sandwiches, wraps, quesadillas, salads, subs, seafood, amazing appetizers, and awesome daily specials. Sure, you love our award-winning wings, but don't forget our Etc. And now, when you can't eat, drink, and watch here, order online for pickup at togo.wingsetc.com. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. Good food, great times.
Johnny isn't sad that it's time to go back to school because Johnny is hungry. His family struggles to put meals on the table. I married Joe Martinek with the Food Bank of Northern Indiana. Our Food for Kids backpack program provides children in need with a sack of food on weekends during the school year. Together, we can make a difference for kids like Johnny to be successful in school and life. Help us end child hunger. Find out how at feedindiana.org.
Dave here. My friends at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union are celebrating 75 years of serving members right here in the local community and all over the world. This is why I love these guys. They actually have a soul and a different spirit of how they approach the customer. Since the folks at Notre Dame Federal Credit Union aren't going for profit, account members are, well, they're like owners. And it's easy to become one. Visit NotreDameFCU.com. That's NotreDameFCU.com to find out more. Federally insured by the NCUA.
At Embry in the WSBT studios as we close in on kickoff from Alsop, Illinois, as the second-ranked in Class 4A Mishawaka Cavemen take on Chicago Marist. Coming up at halftime, the Mishawaka Education Foundation halftime. Dean Hupper will have some information for you. Let's take a quick look at the scores, though. Second quarter action in Penn. Birmingham Brother Rice of Michigan leads Penn 7-0. In the Holy War, St. Joe and Marion are no score in the second. Adams ahead of Riley 20-6 in the second. Also, Angola, 7th ranked in Class 4A, leads Jimtown by a count of 3-0. More to come up at halftime, but it's game time. Let's send it back to the state of Illinois. And with the call at tonight's Mishawaka Cavemen football game, here are Sean Stiers and the coach, Scott Bovenkirk.
Thank you very much, Matt Embry. I'm really confused about how things work here at Chicago Marist because we're already, Coach, 5 minutes after kickoff time. Marist stayed on the field for the national anthem, and now they're running the other way to kind of huddle up outside the stadium. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. We might kick off sooner or later. They're just walking toward their building right now. Well, in any case, we'll, of course, remind you that our starting lineups that we had before our last timeout were brought to you by Bonnie Doon Drive-In, Lincoln Way East, on Lincoln Way, just east of Ironwood at Mishawaka. Bonnie Doon celebrating 80 years of serving Michiana with dine-in, carry-out, and old-fashioned car hop service. And, of course, this has been the School City of Mishawaka pregame show, growing leaders in a culture of excellence, the Mishawaka way. Well, you heard Keith Kinder, and with his pregame comments, the coach's comments brought to you by Beef O'Brady's of Granger. And this is a unique task that Mishawaka has tonight defensively. I was talking with Darren Pritchett at the end of Sports Beat. This quarterback is a little bit of a combination of the first two quarterbacks they've seen. Maybe a little bit, he's a really good runner, and he's fast, as Keith Kinder said, so that kind of takes you to the Portage quarterback. Also a decent thrower. He was 12 of 23 last week, but definitely more multi-dimensional than probably either of the first two quarterbacks.
When you're going to play a spread offense, the first thing I want to know is, can the quarterback run? And if he can, then that changes how I'm going to defend it. My next question is, can he throw? And if he can do both, you're in big trouble.
Right.
So it's a good thing that he is, how shall I say, proficient at one and not necessarily the other, because you can set your defense that way. And you know, you just don't want to face that kid that has the ability to take off and run, and that guy that can throw the ball all over the place. And there are very few quarterbacks out there that can do that, let's face it.
Right.
But to defend that runner and thrower, that's tough.
He was 12 of 23 for 162 yards and a touchdown pass throwing the ball last week against Brother Rice. Also 6 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown run in that same game, as Chicago Marist lost that game by a final score of 20-16. And as we said earlier, Brother Rice scored the game-winning touchdown with 1:47 to play.
Well, the other point, too, Sean, is, as Keith said in his pregame, they were forced to play a lot of man-to-man coverage in the secondary against Valparaiso. If you're playing man-to-man coverage and you are chasing that receiver downfield and that quarterback takes off,
that's trouble.
Your back is to that quarterback,
right,
and big plays come from that.
That's absolutely right. So both teams, again, the way this is set up, we're actually on top of the press box here at Chicago Marist on the east side of the stadium. The field right in front of us, obviously, and then there's a soccer field straight ahead of us with the visiting stands on the other side. Both teams, instead of going to locker rooms, they were huddled up on opposite ends behind the visiting bleachers, and they are just now making their way onto the field. And again, I'm totally confused because our kickoff time was listed as 6:30, and it's almost 20 till right now. So we're already 20 minutes behind, and Marist is making a slow procession toward the field, almost deliberately slow, and I feel like it's more like halftime than pregame with the band out there playing.
The band had to play, they had to, and it's kind of cool, but the band spelled out, not necessarily script, but they spelled out Marist, and they did it in the Ohio State way where they do script Ohio, and they've got their
berets.
Yeah, and their tuba player that dotted the I and all that kind of stuff, and so that's what we're waiting for. But yeah, I mean, legally, when that clock runs down to 0 in pregame, you have 3 minutes a warm-up for the team. But
they've got 3 minutes on the clock right now.
So we'll have another 3 minutes after this. But anyways, the band is nice. I
feel like someone changed the kickoff time and didn't tell us.
We had senior night already. We had senior night on the first home game of the year, and now we've got a band show, and we got to get back.
We've got everything but kickoff. Here's something we do know.
2-hour drive.
That's right. Here's something we do know. Mishawaka did win the coin toss tonight, and they elected to receive. And Keith Kinder kind of alluded to it, that and part of their defense against this Marist team has to be possessing the ball, running their offense, working the clock, and just I think you kind of were talking about it last week. 3 yards on first down for this offense is a good gain if you're getting 3 yards on every play.
Typically, when I was coaching, we went by the old adage that 4 yards was an efficient play on first down. And because obviously 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, and you got a first down. That's not necessarily true with Mishawaka High School, because they can go 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards. There's a real good chance they're going for it on fourth down. So it's a 4-down offense, and every time you get a first down at Mishawaka, I mean that's almost another 3 minutes off the clock. So obviously by accepting the ball to start the game, it is Keith Kinder's way of saying, your offense scares us a little bit. We want to possess the football and keep your offense off the field.
That's right. And again, Marist went 11-0 in the regular season last year, outscoring their opponents by an average score of 43-12. Their only loss came in the quarterfinal round, their first playoff game, the Illinois 8A playoffs. They lost 30-10 to Loyola Academy. They lost a slew of talent from last year's team, including their quarterback, running back, wide receiver tandem, their best running back and receiver. Now, they still have talent, so that's not an issue for them. 3 offensive linemen they lost from last year's team, 3 starters. Also 6 starters from the defense, including defensive end Gabe McCabe, who is now at the University of Indiana. Mishawaka 2-0 under first-year head coach Keith Kinder. They are looking for their first 3-0 start since 2010, when they won their first 12 games before losing their only game of the season in regionals to Valparaiso. So that is what Mishawaka is looking for after starting 2-0 for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. So we are just about ready for some football.
We think.
Yeah, that's right. Now they've got they put that 3 minutes on the clock we were talking about, then they took it off with about 2 minutes to go. So it is going to be Donovan Snyder and Bradley Taylor back deep for the Cavemen. And it is Taylor on the far side, Snyder on the near side. Mishawaka dressed in all-white road uniforms, maroon numbers, and Marist in home reds. They wear all with a red helmet as well. Big block white M on the helmet. The kickoff goes through the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Cavemen will start with a football at their own 20-yard line.
Aiden D'Amico is the kicker, and he buried that about 9 yards deep in the end zone. Slight breeze in his back, but not much.
Yep, there is a little bit of a breeze, and it's kind of clouded up here around us. It's more the clouds are to the south, so hopefully that's moving to the south. We're looking straight to the west, and we do see some sunshine in that direction. The lights are on here at Marist. 1st and 10 for the Cavemen at their own 20-yard line. It's Sam Shively, the quarterback, Chris Harness, the fullback. The halfbacks are Bradley Taylor and Donovan Snyder. It is Brody Robinette split out to one side, and The ball is on the deck on the first play, and the Cavemen fumble, and Marist is going to take over after a gain of 4 yards at the Mishawaka 24-yard line.
Yeah, took the ball out of the fullback's belly and then Shively turned it up, looked like he was going to have a nice gain, but the defensive end stuck his arm out and stripped him of the football. And this is not the way you want to start a road game after that 2.5-hour bus trip. Now you put your defense on the field with their backs against the wall at the 24-yard line.
Mike Marquette is the quarterback. Jalen Williams is the tailback. 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right. And inside handoff comes to the near side and up to the 20-yard line. A gain of 4. The tackle will be made by Derek Dawson. That handoff went to Billy Skalitsky, the slot receiver, 6 foot, 190 pounds. He does a little of everything. 4 receptions, 98 yards last week. Also 12 carries for 28 rushing yards.
Yeah, put the slot in motion, ran the jet sweep with the running back as a lead blocker.
2nd and 6 for Marist at the Mishawaka 20-yard line after the Cavemen fumbled the ball on their first play from scrimmage. And now Skalitsky is lined up as the tailback. He'll take the handoff, goes to the left. He's going to be smothered by 3 different tacklers. Ryan Watt was there, and one of the first men in there, C.J. Fisher, who Keith Kinder talked about in the pregame. He's been all over the place at that rover position so far this season.
Yeah, it's been a good change for him to come down to the rover, and he's able to get much more involved in the run game.
No gain on 2nd down for Marist, so it is 3rd down and 6 from the Mishawaka 20. Now we'll have 3 receivers left, 2 to the right, ball in the middle of the field, and Marquette, the quarterback from the shotgun. On the design keeper, he will dive forward and get a couple of yards. Derek Dawson got a piece of him in the backfield and helped trip him up, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, big play by Dawson, because that was going to go for the first down. Instead, kept it to a gain of about 1 or 2, and 4th and 4, D'Amico is in to attempt a 35-yard field goal. They're short a man.
Yeah, and he finally runs out on the field. Aiden D'Amico, 6 foot, 170 pounds, to attempt the field goal. The ball is on the 24. It is on the way high and end over end. Clears it with plenty of distance and good. So with 9:55 on the clock in the first quarter, Mishawaka dodges a bit of a bullet after fumbling on their first play. The defense holds, and Marist settles for a field goal. We'll take a timeout. 3-0 Marist. This is Cavemen Football on WSBT.
Dave here for Zolman's Tire and Auto Care, voted the best tire store 2 years in a row. Right now, bring Zolman's any competitor's tire quote on a set of tires, and they'll beat it by $25. Plus, they'll give you a free alignment check. And Zolman's sells Michelin tires. Michelin offers safe, fuel-efficient, long-lasting tires that provide exceptional performance and extraordinary value. Zolman's Tire and Auto Care, trusted community service for over 40 years.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? When you work with Jerry Hunt, your South Bend Edward Jones financial advisor, he focuses on what's important to you. You'll work together and use an established process to create a personalized financial strategy backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And you'll partner to help your strategy stay on track. Contact Jerry Hunt today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
A touchback, another touchback by Marist on their second kickoff of the night. The Redhawks lead the Mishawaka Cavemen 3-0 here at Marist. 9:55 to go in the first quarter. Mishawaka fumbled on its first offensive play of the game, the very first play of the game, and then Marist was only able to gain 4 yards on its offensive possession and settled for a 34-yard field goal. Chris Harness, the fullback, takes a big hit as he plunges through the middle of the Marist defense for a gain of 4 yards. Actually, they're going to mark him back a little bit. It'll be a gain of 3, so it's 2nd and 7. Chris Harness, who rushed for 1,458 yards last year, has gone for 389 yards and 4 touchdowns through the first 2 games this season. 2nd and 7. Keeper by the quarterback, Shively, gets across the 25 to the 26-yard line as he curls it into the middle. It's going to be 3rd and 4.
Same play they fumbled on the first play of the game. This time hung on to the ball. And big 3rd down coming up. I think being down 3-0 and in your own territory, this is too early to go for it on 4th down unless it's really, really close. So this is a big 3rd down play early in the game.
Twin receivers right for Mishawaka on 3rd and 4. The option look in the backfield. Keeper by Shively goes right as he fakes the dive, gets just a yard, and it's going to be 4th and 3.
So we're in that situation right now where Mishawaka could line up as if they're going to go for it and run the punt team out, or they can dummy play, call a no play, which means I'm going to try and get Marist to jump offside.
Here's something interesting because Mishawaka and Sam Shively have used the play clock to their advantage as they go for it. A toss play goes to the far side. Snyder with blockers in front of him. Snyder to the sideline, driven out of bounds at the 40-yard line, but not before he picks up a first down presented by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage.
14-yard pickup. They did run the play. It was 4th and 4 from their own 26-yard line, and they went for it and picked up a big first down to keep the chains moving.
They mark it up to the 41-yard line. 7:51 to play in the first quarter. 3-0 Marist. I was saying no play clock, and Sam Shively has typically used that. He's watched it, let it wind down, but there's no play clock that we can see down there on the field for him to look at tonight.
What he's going to have to do is the umpire should give him a hand signal when there's 5 seconds or less left.
Keeper and Shively goes up the middle. Shively across the 50, cuts inside, now back half side. Big stiff arm, and Sam Shively pulling his way, the quarterback, all the way up near the 40 or the 35-yard line of Marist.
21-yard gain. So back-to-back first downs for Mishawaka.
The first down again presented by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. Sam Shively not wanting to go down, and the quarterback using that left arm for the stiff arm to pick up extra yardage after he crossed the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Cavemen. They mark it all the way up to the 38 of Marist as Mishawaka moves the ball into Red Hawk territory. Keeper again by Shively. This time up the middle. He goes to the left as he crosses the 35 down to the 33.
Pickup of 6. Nice little drive going right now.
And again, just kind of like with Valparaiso last year, that was not there for Mishawaka last year against Marist, but already we've seen some yards in the interior between both Shively and the fullback, Harness. It is 2nd down and 6 for the Cavemen. Shively under design. Keeper gets tackled at the 30-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, they're running a tight end, which they don't always do, and a wing to that side.
Motion by Snyder. Shively started and then stopped, and Snyder, who is on the left wing as the halfback. Mishawaka calls them halfbacks. They play on those wings. Harness down in the three-point stance. The fullback motion again, and Harness into the open. He'll be tackled down at the 21-yard line. Good fake carried out by Sam Shively. I think half the defense thought he had it going right, and there goes Harness up to the 21. Another Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage first down.
They put the wing back in the tackle tight end gap. Most defenses are going to think this is where you're going to run. So that linebacker instinctively will set that way, and what he did is he vacated the area, and Harness ate it up.
1st and 10 Mishawaka at the 21. There goes Harness. Veer right, still on his feet as Harness gets to the 15-yard line.
You're exactly right. For the first time tonight, ran the outside veer, attacked that defensive end. If they find out that he is closing to that fullback, then the quarterback is going to keep it and take it out on the pitch on the outside.
Now I'm just clarifying. That was the first time they ran the outside veer, not the first time I was right?
No, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, just making sure.
No, I haven't heard you wrong yet,
okay,
so
good.
I'll let you know.
All right.
No.
Second down and 4 coming up. Here's Harness on the dive, trying to work his way left. He got across the 15. About a yard is all he's going to get, and it's going to bring up third down for Mishawaka with 4:50 to play in the opening quarter.
That was a big play for him last week. That's that trap counter option play that went big last week against Valpo, and you could tell that Marist had coached against it.
Colin Fee, senior split end, is split out to the right. It is 3rd and 2 Mishawaka. There's Harness again on the dive. He's going to be close to first down yardage. Could be just a little bit shy.
I think he's a little short. It's going to be fourth and 1, and they line up quickly.
Shively will keep it himself, and we've got a flag. I think this is going to be a procedure on Mishawaka. Flag came from the backfield.
The referee threw the flag, and now he is coming out and explaining something to Keith Kinder, which is never a good sign when the official has to go over and say, look, here's what you did.
Let me ask you this, because you were talking about, we're obviously, Mishawaka's from Indiana, Marist is from Illinois, so you were talking about the difference in play clocks. I assume that there's going to be some subtle differences in some rules and things like that, too, in the difference between two states. A delay of game was actually called. And again, there's no play clock. I don't know how there's a delay of game because they huddled quickly.
Yeah, it can't be a delay of game. It can't be because they came right up to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. This has to be maybe an equipment rule or something like that. Now it's going to be 4th and 6.
And Patton Snyder is going to line up for a few. And this will be the same distance for Patton Snyder. A 34-yard attempt. The ball is going to be spotted on the 24. It is right on the right hash mark for Patton Snyder, the soccer player, trying to tie the score at 3 if he can hit it. He's kicking into a little bit of a wind. The kick is on the way, end over end across the uprights, and we're tied at 3. So the two teams trade 34-yard field goals. First one for Marist's D'Amico, and this one for Patton Snyder, a 34-yarder, and we're tied at 3 with 4:09 to play in the first quarter. This is Mishawaka Cavemen football presented by Midland Engineering Company on WSBT.
Summer is a great time to look around and enjoy the outdoors. See the beautiful flowers and the green grass. But if your garage door isn't looking so good, give us a call. Hi, this is Doug Leckleitner. At Leckleitner Door, we offer service and installation on all types of garage doors, residential, commercial, agricultural, and industrial doors. At Leckleitner Door, our goal for nearly 4 decades is to satisfy every customer with each door we repair. Leckleitner Door, we open all the right doors. Call 295-6311.
Ball game after Mishawaka's Patton Snyder boots a 34-yard field goal into a little bit of a wind. So a good answer for Mishawaka after fumbling on their very first play. They go downfield and end up kicking a 34-yard field goal.
12-play drive and took about 5 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. So very nice job.
Billy Skalitsky and Jaden Thompson are the deep men for Marist. 4:09 to play in the opening quarter. 3-3 the score. An onside kick goes to the right side, and it is going to be recovered by Mishawaka. Mishawaka will have the ball. It looked like it bounced off one Caveman player who saved it from going out of bounds, and it stayed in about 5 yards in, right around the numbers near the far side. The Cavemen will take over in Marist territory.
Yeah, I wish I knew the number of that young man that was lined up on our what we call R5. He's the guy on the end, and he went down and kept the ball in bounds. Knew he couldn't necessarily field it himself, but gave his team a chance.
The Cavemen will take over at the 43, where it's 1st and 10 and a 3-3 ball game. 4:07 to play in the first quarter. The option offense of the Cavemen. Play fake by Shively. Throws to a wide open man, and it's going to be dropped on the far side.
Ran a little wheel right. The wide receiver takes off, runs off the coverage. The wing back came out into the flat and up. He was wide open and dropped the ball.
Bradley Taylor, the right halfback, just couldn't hold on to that ball as Mishawaka looks to the far sideline for the play call under the lights here at Chicago Marist. A little bit of a breezy night. 2nd and 10, Mishawaka. The play design was perfect that time. Mishawaka just couldn't quite finish it off. Here is the keeper by Shively after faking the dive. Shively will get a yard. That's it. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
And you don't throw the ball a lot. So when you do, and that receiver is wide open, man, you want to connect on those things. That's a big play.
Bradley Taylor had 3 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown last year when he wore number 39. He's number 8 this season. The halfbacks are number 8, Taylor, and 9, Donovan Snyder. There's some play fake again. This time, Snyder is wide open. He makes the catch, takes a hit inside the 30, and a flag is going to come down as well. I think this might be helmet to helmet. Let's see what it's going to be. It's a first down in any case, brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage.
Yeah, it's a 16-yard pickup, a little pop pass. The wing backs, all 4 wing backs, all 4 receivers went down the field. They're going to call face mask.
So a face mask is called on Marist, and at Mishawaka, and it's a personal foul variety. Mishawaka is going to get an extra 15 yards out of this after they took that pass play up to the 26.
Probably 13. It's going to be half the distance, I believe, so they should put it at the 13-yard line. It is a 5 or 15 in high school. This was signaled as a personal foul.
Mishawaka on the move, and they kind of make up for that first play fumble they had that led to the Marist field goal with an onside kick right after their own field goal. And with 3:13 to play in the first quarter, a 3-3 ball game. The Cavemen driving 1st and 10, the Marist 13-yard line. On the wings are the halfbacks, Snyder and Taylor. One split end is out to the right, and Harness in the backfield. Motion in the dive to Harness. Harness breaks the initial contact, and he works his way down to the 1-yard line. The ball comes out. They're going to say he's down at the 1, where it's going to be 1st and goal, brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage.
12-yard pickup. The ball did come out, but the official signaled right away that he was down at the 1, and that's a bad break because Mishawaka recovered it in the end zone.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line for Mishawaka as the Cavemen line up with the option look. Shively takes the snap, tries to follow the right guard toward the goal line. That pile still moving forward, still no signal, and still no signal.
They're going to call him short.
So it's going to be 2nd and goal. He might have got a half yard out of that. It looked like on the initial surge he didn't get it, but then looked like maybe from here that he crossed, but none of the officials a lot closer than us saw it that way. Yeah, they move it essentially to the half-yard line where it's 2nd down and goal.
Mishawaka doesn't want to score on 1st down anyway.
That's right. They want to keep using as much clock as possible. Caleb Crothers is the split end to the right. Harness, the fullback, takes the dive, crosses the goal line, touchdown, Mishawaka. The Cavemen go on top on the 1-yard touchdown run by Chris Harness.
Yeah, just ran the veer to the right, found a little gap, didn't make it in by much, but about half a body length. The ball was definitely over the goal line. Touchdown, Mishawaka.
Harness with the touchdown run makes it 9-7. Remember, that touchdown drive was set up by the onside kick after Patton Snyder's 34-yard field goal. Now Snyder to attempt the extra point. The snap there, the placement down, and the kick is up and beautiful right through the uprights. Snyder with the kick makes it Mishawaka 10, Marist 3. 1:46 to play in the first quarter. Let's take a timeout. This is Cavemen Football on WSBT.
911.
Officer, I'd like to file a report. I witnessed a robbery.
Robbery.
Yes, at Sonic. I saw a man steal a quarter-pound double cheeseburger and tots for only $2.99. He was about 6'1", brown hair, blue shirt, big smile.
Wait, so he did actually pay just $2.99? I better check this out. Boys, I'm going on lunch.
It's a steal, all right. The Car Hop Classic, a quarter-pound double cheeseburger or Slinger plus tots for only $2.99. This is how you Sonic. Text 9 included. See menu for details for a limited time. Only participating Sonic drive-ins.
Minute 46 to play in the first quarter. Mishawaka goes on top of Chicago Marist 10-3 here on the road. And Mishawaka kicked an onside kick. And its last kickoff, Patton Snyder, the soccer player who kicked a field goal, a 34-yarder, and then an onside kick to the right side, and Marist lines up ready for it this time. The two men deep are Jaden Thompson and Billy Skalitsky. A high pooch kick goes to the far side. Thompson takes it out of bounds, and a flag comes down as it goes out of bounds at around the 29.
Yeah, and if that ball stays in bounds, he's going to get the ball at about the 31-yard line, but it goes out of bounds, so he's going to pick up 4 extra yards because the ball was kicked out of bounds, and that's what the penalty is.
Mishawaka is obviously very conscious of the return men, Skalitsky and Thompson is the guy Keith Kinder referenced in the pregame show. He's got an offer from the University of Michigan, a 6'3" wide receiver who had a 13-yard touchdown catch last week against Brother Rice. Skalitsky, a really good multi-purpose guy as well. The quarterback is Mike Marquette. A.J. Marquette, his brother, is the flanker to the right. And we've got a Marist kicker or a Marist coach out on the field.
Well, I think what they're doing, Sean, is they're explaining the option. When that ball is kicked out of bounds, you can take it at the 35, which most teams do, or you can force Mishawaka to kick again. And I don't think they ever gave Marist that option until right now.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 35. Marquette to throw, fires it over the middle. It's caught by Thompson. Thompson is hit immediately at midfield by C.J. Fisher and brought down. Fisher with 12 tackles last week for the Cavemen. Marist picks up a first down at its own 49.
Ran a little dig route. Wide receiver goes down about 15 yards, finds the open area in between the linebackers, making a nice catch.
10-3, Mishawaka leads Marist, a minute and a half to play in the first quarter. Jalen Williams is now the tailback from the shotgun. Marquette play fake, fires it out to the left. Skalitsky with it. Skalitsky breaks an ankle tackle as he dances across the 40-yard line into Mishawaka territory for another Red Hawk first down.
And that's what Keith Kinder talked about in the pregame. If we have to play man for man, we have to be able to tackle in the secondary. And that should have been about a 5-yard gain, and instead it turned out to be an 11-yard gain because of the broken tackle.
Shotgun, and Marquette takes the pass. Little swing pass out to the left. It is caught down the sideline, still going, and a leap is made, and a dive across the 20-yard line. That was made by Javon Marsh on the swing pass out of the backfield. Another first down for Marist. 3 passing plays have Marist going from their own 35 to the Mishawaka 20.
Yeah, that time both Mishawaka inside linebackers stepped up, and Marist ran a back out, and there was nobody there.
Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Marquette passes left. Thompson with the catch. He is gang tackled over there by a trio of Cavemen just shy of the 10-yard line. Derek Dawson, the Will linebacker, one of the Mishawaka tacklers over there, and we have a Marist player down on the. It's going to be 2nd and 1 with 41 seconds to play in the first quarter. A Marist player down on the numbers over near the 10-yard line.
And I think it may be Thompson. I don't see number 1 in the huddle, so I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to assume that it's him that's.
I'll get the binoculars out here in a minute during our commercial break because the teams are going to the sideline. 41 seconds to play in the first quarter. 10-3 Mishawaka. Let's take time out for this injury. This is Cavemen Football on WSBT.
Take a step back in time at Bonnie Doon Drive-In on Lincoln Way, just east of Ironwood in Mishawaka. On your way to the game, stop in for a Bonnie Burger and an order of crinkle-cut fries. Then get in the spirit with a famous Bonnie Doon School Sundae. There's 12 unique combinations to choose from, including the Caveman Sundae featuring chocolate ice cream, chocolate syrup, Spanish peanuts, whipped cream, and topped with cherry. Try one tonight. Bonnie Doon Drive-In, open daily from 11 a.m. till 9 with dine-in, carry-out, or old-fashioned car hop service.
Jaden Thompson was the injured Chicago Marist player, and he gets to the sideline and lays back down. He jogged over to the sideline on his own, but it's going to be second down and a yard for Marist at the Mishawaka 11-yard line. The Red Hawks line up with the spread. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right, a running back in the shotgun formation, and tackled in the backfield is the running back, and up to make the tackle is Nick Davis tackling Jovan Marsh.
Nice play by Davis on 2nd and 1 to drop him for a 4-yard loss and set up a 3rd and 5.
Big defensive play for the Cavemen, and that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. 10-3. Mishawaka leads Chicago Marist here on the road after 1 quarter of play. We'll take a timeout and then back with second quarter action. This is Mishawaka Cavemen Football presented by Midland Engineering Company on 96.1 WSBT, the sports leader.
Midland Engineering Company is proud to partner with Mishawaka Schools to bring you Caveman football. We believe in the Mishawaka way and are honored to work on upgrading their facilities, including historic Mishawaka High School. At Midland, we take pride in being part of our community, whether it's our annual Fallen Heroes Community Service Award with the South Bend Cubs or working with other local charities and nonprofit organizations. Midland and its employees are committed to enhancing the quality of life in Michiana. Midland Engineering Company, a community partner for nearly 100 years. Visit midlandengineering.com.
After 1 quarter of play, Mishawaka with a 10-3 lead over Chicago Marist here on the road. Allsup, Illinois is where we're coming from as the teams trade ends of the field. Marist will be now a little bit closer to us anyway. Marist has these numbers. Hadn't really mentioned this. They've got red on red with the white piping around the numbers. So they, especially when they're farther away, more challenging to see. So they're a little bit closer to us now anyway.
Yeah.
Marist 3rd and 5 from the Mishawaka 15 after the Nick Davis hit. Gave Marist a 4-yard loss. The quarterback, Marquette, wants to throw. Chase out of the pocket, and he's going to be tackled, and it's going to be Davis again on the scramble left. Davis drops him, and it'll be 4th down.
It's going to go as a sack. Officially, it's a 2-yard loss, but back-to-back big plays by Davis, and we will bring in the kicker again.
D'Amico to try another 34-yard field goal. He hit one at the other end of the field earlier with plenty of leg. What wind there is, and it's died down a little bit, has stopped. The ball is on the left hash mark, the near hash mark. The snap there, the placement down, kick is on the way. End over end, that splits the upright, and D'Amico has his second field goal of the night. 11-11 to play in the first half. It's Mishawaka 10, Marist 6 after 2 field goals by the Red Hawks. This is Cavemen Football on WSBT.
Hey, sports fans, football's back, and so am I. This is Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. If you're in the market to purchase a new home or refinance an existing one, give me a call at 287-1152. Here at First Midwest Mortgage, we offer a wide range of mortgage loans, including conventional and our government FHA and VA loans down to a 580 credit score. Call me today, Kevin Putz, your local and trusted mortgage professional. Let me put my 20 years of mortgage experience to work for you. Call me today, 287-1152.
NMLS number 127733.
11 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the first half. Mishawaka leads Chicago Marist 10-6 on the road under the lights here at Marist. The two deep men for the Cavemen are Donovan Snyder and Bradley Taylor. Mishawaka surprised Marist with an onside kick earlier. Here's the kick from D'Amico. He booms it end over end, and it'll come into the hands of Taylor at the 1. Taylor coming into the middle of the field and gets it up to the 15 and the 16-yard line, where the Cavemen will have possession of the football.
Good kick down to the 1-yard line in the corner, and it was tried to run back into the middle instead of going straight up and getting what you can, and that's always tough. Sometimes it's easier to bring the wedge to the ball rather than to run to the wedge, because you've got such a long way to go.
Colin Fee and Caleb Crothers are the split ends. Fee on the right, Crothers on the left. Halfbacks are Donovan Snyder and Bradley Taylor. The fullback is Chris Harness in the option offense. Shively is the quarterback. Here comes Harness to the left, drives his way up to the 20-yard line.
Pick up about 3 on first down. Worst field position for Mishawaka, but in all honesty, Sean, field position doesn't matter because the play calling and the offense is the same from the -15 as the +15.
Second down and 7 after a gain of 3. Busted play, it looked like. Toss goes out to Taylor, and he's going to be stopped at best at the line of scrimmage. Might be a little bit of a loss as he tried to go left.
Had to run the counter option. They tried to run the counter option. The defensive end can either cat and mouse the play or he can force it. He forced it and forced a lively and allowed the defense to break on the ball and make a big play on the pitch man.
Mishawaka stands at the line of scrimmage, looks to the sideline for the play again. There's no on-field play clock in this game, so I'm sure that part of what they're doing as well has to do with that as they look to the sideline. Third down and 7 for Mishawaka. The keeper by Shively goes left, breaks a tackle, gets a sideline, cuts upfield. We've got a flag on the play with 2 Marist defenders left in Shively's wake. What's this going to be? It's a first down if it stands, but it's probably coming back.
Umpire called, or rather the back judge calls a hold from about 25 yards away.
Yeah, you couldn't be much farther away to make that call. So it's going to be a hold on the Cavemen, and it's going to bring up 3rd and forever for a triple option offense.
From the 22, it should go to the 12. Pick a line, put it down, there you go.
10-6, Mishawaka leads Marist here on the road. 9:46 to play in the first half. It's going to be 3rd and 13 for Mishawaka. From their own 12-yard line. Roll out by Shively. He will throw it to the near side. It is caught by Colin Fee. Fee will be stopped at the 18-yard line as he is tackled by Tristan Schultz. So they pick up a few yards. That's it. The punt team comes on the field.
Yeah, that's a big penalty because they had the first down picked up. The flag came out, marched it back, and now Mishawaka will punt for the first time tonight.
Jaden Thompson is going to be the deep man for Marist. He's a man who was injured earlier. It's 10-6 Mishawaka. Patton Snyder sets up at his 4-yard line, his own 4-yard line, as Mishawaka was short a man, runs someone on the field, and timeout is taken by the Cavemen so they can avoid a delay of game. 8:56 to play in the first half. It's Mishawaka 10, Chicago Marist 6. This is Mishawaka Cavemen football, a 96.1 WSBT, the sports leader.
It's back to school season, which means your budget is tight with school supplies. During the month of August, Legacy Heating and Air is offering 0% for 48 months with no payment until the first of the year for qualified buyers on the American-made Daikin furnace and air conditioners. Take advantage of the outstanding offer from the area's only Daikin Comfort Pro. Legacy Heating and Air, 0% financing for 48 months and no payments until the first of the year. From
Legacy Heating and Air, the home of the on-time guarantee. For your service, call us free.
A Cook family business.
10:36 to play in the first half. Mishawaka leads Chicago Marist 10-6 here on the road. Patton Snyder to punt after Mishawaka used a timeout to get everybody on the field. The snap to Snyder. He gets it away as it goes end over end to the near sideline. It bounces, takes a Mishawaka bounce back to the Marist. It got to the 45, and then it rolled forward as a Caveman player let it get forward. It'll die at the 46, though.
37-yard punt, no return. And by the way, Thompson was back deep, so apparently he's healthy.
Doing okay.
Yep. Yep.
Well, Mishawaka's come up with a couple of defensive stands, and guess what? On top of the press box, I just felt a raindrop on my neck. Yep. That is not good news. 10-6, Mishawaka leads. 8:45 to play in the first half. Shotgun formation by the Marist Redhawks. Play fake. Marquette wants to throw deep over the middle. It is high and incomplete. He was looking for Skalitsky. Fired it high. Remember, he was 10 of 23 last week, so just right around 50%.
And he hasn't tried to take off and run on any designed running plays so far.
8:40 on the clock. The incompletion stops it. Second down and 10, Marist at their own 46. And now we've got a flag on the field, and I think the Mishawaka player lined up in the neutral zone.
Yeah. If he didn't line up in it, his first step was into it. So
they'll mark off 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 now, Marist at the Mishawaka 49.
It's hard. You tell those guys every day, watch the ball, watch the ball, watch the ball. Don't listen to the count. Hut, hut. And then jump.
There they go. Yeah. Marquette from the shotgun with a running back there with him. Fakes it to the left, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. The first man there for Mishawaka was Blake Brown, whose name we haven't called a lot of this year, but he gets the sack. It's going to be 3rd and long for Marist.
Now I feel a number of raindrops.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. We should point out, not only are we on the top of the press box, but we have no cover on the top of the press box.
And the wind is blowing in the wrong direction. We see all the stuff to our south, but that's the direction the wind is blowing from.
Yep.
3rd down and 12.
Well, Sean.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. 3rd and 12 for Marist from their own 44. Little dump down underneath. Caught by Thompson. Breaks the tackle. Still going forward. He gets it back into Mishawaka territory. C.J. Fisher had him by the ankle, it looked like, and Nick Davis was there as well.
Ran a little wide receiver screen. They picked up 9, but thanks to the sack, it's still 4th and 4. Offense staying on the field.
Marist lines up to go for it. 4th down and 4 at the Mishawaka 48-yard line, and we've got a timeout on the field.
And I think it's the dreaded
weather delay.
Lightning.
Great. So everyone's going to run for cover, and we're standing out here
taller than everybody
on the roof. It's a lightning delay.
It's a minimum of 30 minutes, which means that
5 minutes.
So the rain is on the way. We're just told it's probably going to start in about 5 minutes, so we're probably going to have to break down all our stuff and head for cover anyway. So we've got a lightning delay here in Chicago with 7:27 to play in the first half, and Mishawaka leading 10-6. We're going to have to head for cover, and again, it's going to be a good 30 minutes at a minimum, maybe even longer, before we are able to resume as the players, the teams, head for cover, and the fans head for cover as well. Just light rain coming right now, but it's starting to get heavier already. So we're going to have to break our stuff down and get it protected from the rain. As we're not even in a press box, we're more exposed than anybody right now. So we're going to send it back to our studios to Matt Embry. Mishawaka leads Marist 10-6 with 7:27 to play in the first half, and we are now in a lightning delay in Chicago. This is Mishawaka Cavemen football presented by Midland Engineering Company on WSBT.
We can't pick everything in life, right? Parents, where we grow up, or things like the weather. But leadership?
That's a choice. We're the faculty and staff of Mishawaka schools, and we see tomorrow's leaders in every neighborhood, every town around. We're growing leaders in a culture of excellence with project-based learning, award-winning arts, sciences, a focus on safety, small class size, and preparing students for the global economy. Growing leaders in a culture of excellence. That's the Mishawaka way. You can't pick everything in life, but you can pick a culture of excellence. The Mishawaka way. Be great. Pick Mishawaka Schools. Enroll today. Visit pickmishawakaschools.com. pickmishawakaschools.com.
The Mishawaka Education Foundation wish list is a way for School City of Mishawaka teachers and staff to receive items that are needed to aid them in helping our students have the best education possible. This wish list is for requests of $200 or less. It may be used as many times a year as the need arises for a teacher or a staff member. You can grant the entire wish or just a portion of the wish. Help our students by granting a wish from the Mishawaka Education Foundation wish list today. Online at scmef.me.
Stacked high with fresh Angus and fries, just $5.99 all day. Beef O'Brady's Burger Mondays. Nobody outbeefs beefs.
Don't miss Burger Mondays at Beef O'Brady's of Granger. Every Wednesday night at 7 is Team Trivia. If you're planning a party, Beef's private party room is seating for up to 50 people. Perfect for any event. Good food, good sports. See you at Beef's. Beef O'Brady's of Granger at the corner of State Road 23 and Bittersweet.
And Matt Embry in the WSBT studios as we are currently in a weather delay in Chicago. 10-6, Mishawaka has the lead. We will keep you posted on the resumption of the game and send it back to Sean Stiers and Scott Bowmankirk. We are ready to get back to action in Illinois. Elsewhere at this point, Penn trails Birmingham Brother Rice 7-0 at TCU Freed Field. The Holy War is now in the third quarter. Mishawaka Marion South Bend St. Joe 0-0. Adams in control over Riley 32-12 in the second. South Bend Washington leads Kankakee Valley 14-7 in the second. Bremen ahead of John Glenn 21-0 in the second quarter. At the half, Elkhart Central trails Monroe of Michigan 13-7. Jimtown with a late touchdown has a 7-3 lead at the half on Angola. Concord with a late score ahead of Northwood 10-9 at the half. Also at the half, Elkhart Memorial ahead of Goshen 21-10. Warsaw and Plymouth, it is 16-14. The Tigers ahead of the Rockies at the half. Northridge in control over Wawasee 20-0 late second quarter. Pioneer ahead of LaVille 22-13. And Hobart and Culper Military Academy are no score currently in the second quarter. After this timeout, we are going to send it back, I believe, to South Bend Cubs baseball for some bonus coverage. Again, we will keep you posted on the current action right now in Chicago. Again, a lightning delay and also bad weather headed to that area right now. Again, we hope to get back to the broadcast as soon as possible. We'll keep you posted when we do return to the action from Illinois. But after this timeout, we'll send it over to South Bend Cubs baseball. Again, South Bend Cubs baseball bonus coverage coming up shortly here on 96.1 FM WSBT, South Bend, the sports leader.
ball game.